Hey everybody, welcome to our latest episode of Rogue Trader. For those watching live, we got a little bit of a late start, so we apologize for that. We're doing a little bit of shopping, so we're kicking some things back and forth, but we'll make some rolls here shortly, but we'll give you a recap on last game so Neil knows what's going on and can run a session for us tonight.
That's really, I feel like that just makes me sound sad. Oh, the guy running the game needs to know what happened. I don't remember. It's fine. Tell me.
It's fine. Hey, we only play once a month. It's okay. I take copious. Well, I just say I take copious notes, but that's probably.
I'm gonna say we're just gonna go ahead and say, look, this is John's thing. I like running the game. I have fun doing it, but it's his podcast, so he gets to take the notes.
Fair. And I will say, I just finished. I got my legendary brew today in the mail. It was fantastic. No sugar, no cream, straight right out of the coffee press. It was unbelievable. So
it's a good blend, and I have plenty more. It's going to be, and we've gotten several orders from fans. So I'm just going to say, get yours today. It's good stuff. I actually have been drinking it more than I should because I'm not supposed to drink. But it's good, and I wanted to see what it was like in my coffee maker for a couple days, and it's pretty good. It's real good. I like it. So it's a little less intense than the dark roast, but still real smooth. And it's a great coffee. I'm gonna say you should go to Legends of Tabletop and get some of that coffee to fuel your gaming sessions because you're gonna enjoy it, and it's gonna keep you up. And look, I'm gonna tell you, there's like a handful of places are going to get beans as high quality as Birds does. I source only the best for you guys. I don't care. It's not about the money. It's about the quality.
Literally the only coffee I drink now when I can. Only at home. That's all I drink. At work, you get what you get when you're at work.
Sometimes I have to drink Starbucks, and it makes me want to cry.
Ugh. Garbage.
I want to die. I hate it. It's bad. It's bad, guys. It's bad coffee. They roast it. They over roast it. There's a whole. We can get into a whole podcast about that. That's not what we're here for. We're here to fucking
rip shit up,
chew bubble gum, and make thrones. And we're all out of bubble gum.
All right. Okay.
I keep forgetting that it's Throne Gelt is the name of the currency.
Yeah. Yep. Or thrones. You just say thrones.
Yeah.
All right, so last session we're in orbit above the planet. We cleared out a section for the merchant house to come and do their thing. We get a notification that there's some incoming ships. Turns out it's not the people from the merchant house, but some pirates who initially want to give us some shit and like take our stuff, but turns out that I knew the sister of the other pirate, and there were some things that happened, and anyway, we were able to get out of it, so it was good. The house comes. My potential new best friend didn't make the trip, which was disappointing for Venari. He thought maybe there would be some more social activity that would happen, post mission, but he was disappointed. We lost Kane. He didn't turn up. We left some of his dudes there to watch over the mercenaries as they provide security for the ongoing construction project and oversee the construction of the secret base. Maybe not so secret base since someone else is building it. We jumped back to Footfall because I don't know names, which turned out to be fantastic because a couple of failed rolls and we crashed into Footfall, which was rather exciting. We had to meet with what the fuck's his name, Zarkov, who's a fat slob, scared to go into the warp. He was very unhappy with us. But Kynnoch, our newest crew member, not crew member, but core command crew member, said that he pitched an idea that got Zarkov kind of freaked out, said there were some anomalies in the warp, and decided he could make a map to kind of show him that, it wasn't our fault. And he actually pulled it off to his credit. So that was pretty good. And I guess that's about it. So we're just kind of carousing, trying to fix the ship, the usual rogue trader kind of stuff. So I guess that's where we pick it up, and we'll kick it over to Neil.
Yeah, so you are on the station. You did a little bit of carousing and ended up not entertaining and like you were required to, but you did hang out with your seneschal for a little bit, and he felt extremely Oros was extremely appreciative that the rogue trader himself would spend time hanging out in his off time with him. So that was a good thing for his motivation, his demeanor. But you sustained fairly significant hull damage from smashing into the station. Luckily, the station really didn't sustain much damage. So you're kind of stuck on the station for quite some time, which is both, it's a burden and a gift, because it does give you time to acquire items you may be looking for, or handle any business that you might be interested in handling. There are a number of contracts, obviously, that you may be interested in pursuing, and so it gives you a chance to kind of get the lay of the land, and if there's any other additional fun time shenanigans you want to get into, you can get into those as well. At the moment, you're basically dry docked, as whatever that means in Rogue Trader land. Docked at the ship under repairs. You're essentially your purse as it is. It won't take like profit factor or anything to fix it. It just takes time for you to fix the damage. So you're basically free for at least. There may be an actual like calculation for that, but in light of looking it up, I'm going to say at least a month, unless you want to spend profit factor to speed that repair. Otherwise,
I would say no. He doesn't want to spend any more money than he has to. and he's happy to carouse. He's going to keep to his word, though. He had promised Jarnan that he could burn heretics for the next adventure for the heretics bane. So, assuming that job thread is still open and no one has taken the ecclesiarchy up on that offer, and he figures it's a little bit of goodwill back to the ecclesiarchy. Be like, hey, sure, we're going to go check out that planet, and we're going to convert some people and bring them back to the Imperium, because we fucked you over last time.
A little bit.
So he would carouse. I don't know if we want to, since we're doing acquisitions, like retroactively, like in a drunken state when he's in the bar with Oros, be like, it'd be cool to get one of those fucking skulls to like hover around, like bring me drinks and shit, like one of those sorts of things. So like, he makes the call. So like in the morning, he gets a message from the Adeptus Mechanicus, and they sent a representative over to be like, oh yes, we heard that you we're looking for so and so.
Do you want to jump into that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. So you in the morning. By the way, just official rules in case there's rules lawyers out there. It's a day per hull armor point to be fixed. As 23 days. So we're about right. So you see, it's you're pretty sure that you're pretty sure like this is it's not an explorator or high level Mechanicus representative showing up. I was summoned by my master in order to assist you with acquiring some technology.
And he's kind of like fucking scratches his head, kind of like rubs his eyes, and he's like, new technology, like for the ship? You're going to help us fix the ship?
The ship repairs are minor repairs. They do not require the expertise of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I believe you have requested through one of our contacts, Explorator Talontrack. You have reached out, and he has asked me to provide you with the possibility of acquiring a servo skull, usually reserved for higher level Adeptus Mechanicus acolytes, but you have provided us with interesting technologies, I have been told, so I am here to try to acquire said servo skull for you.
Servo skull? Fucking what? Oh shit! Yeah. Yeah, sure. What do you have? Do you have like different models? Like, what do you have there for me?
The basic servo skull would be a levitating skull from a servitor, able to transmit messages, simple physical acts. However, you may upgrade it with various additional technologies in order to increase its functionality. Much like an Adeptus Mechanicus upgrades their body with the metal and steel in order to become even more than a human can be.
All right, yeah. I remember this now. Yeah. I want one of those.
Well, I will try to acquire one. This, of course, is not the most technologically advanced station. I will do my best. Let me see if I can acquire the proper vessel to create such technology. I will do my best if you will let me leave, and I will go about searching for the proper specimen, if you will.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Let me know what you find, and I help you guys out, you help me out. It's a good. I love this relationship. This is really good. It's fantastic.
Of course, and I will say, Explorer Talontrack did request that you contact him at some point. I believe there are additional opportunities for you to ingratiate yourself with the Mechanicus, which is never a bad thing for a rogue trader out there on the fringes. Pardon me, it is not my place to have said such a thing. It is not. I am not at a designated rank in the Mechanicus to have said such a thing to someone of your stature. However, I will bid you farewell. I will be in touch shortly to determine if I can provide you with the technology you have requested.
When he makes the comment, just like eyebrow raise, like, did you just said that? But he doesn't say anything other than just give him like the rock. And
okay.
When he's like, I'll take my leave, he just kind of like, waves his hand at him like, yeah, go do your thing.
And he goes and tromps off. He's a typical Mechanicus. He's got fucking arms and limbs and Dr. Octopus fucking tentacles coming off of everywhere and that sort of thing. Give me a roll. So I'm gonna have to figure out what that server skull. Did you calculate?
So scarce is +0, single man is 30, and I wanted to go good quality. I don't know if there's quality for servo skulls.
There are. I would say yes. Like a poor one would probably not be able to be upgraded per se. What was the rarity again?
Scarce, which is a +0.
I just want to double check because you're actually looking at a different potential. I want to double check that. Yeah, it's +0. Yeah. Sorry, you're at it's less than 100,000 on footfall. So I was just looking at that. If it's a very small place, it's even harder to get stuff. But yes, correct.
Gotcha. So the good would be a -10. So is there any bonus to the roll because of the relationship?
Whatever your Peer is a +10, I believe.
I think it was
so
plus
you get,
10.
Yeah, you get a +10 for that.
All right, so I'm rolling at an 82. Here's hoping.
Wait, you're rolling at an 82? God damn. All right.
20. He gets me a badass servo skull.
He comes back. In this case, let's say, looking at the book, it's going to be, in this particular case, less than 100,000. You said it was scarce, a week. You rolled really well. So, like 2 days later, essentially a little, sealed, locked box that requires your fingerprint to scan arrives delivered to your cabin, assuming you open it.
Oh yeah.
The bomb. What's in the box? Terrible. As soon as you open it, it's like woo, and then out levitates this skull, human skull with various mechanical components and circuits embedded in it. Then you hear it kind of whir and do this scan, and it announces imprinting upon command unit, and then scan, and it says servitor, servo skull ready for orders.
So he holds his hand up like a finger up and like see if it tracks his finger one way or the other. He puts his hand up, puts his hand down.
Yeah, it like tracks.
So he's like, all right. So he would sit and fiddle with it, and see what see what sort of stuff they sent over with it. I mean, I guess we could go over some sort of stats later, whether or not it's got pistol or a multi-key or whatever.
Yeah, let me see.
There are some basic stats in the book, but you can outfit it with a couple of different things.
Yeah, it really depends on what you want it to be. So I guess it does have mechanical manipulator, pincers, a weapon, a picked device, surgical implants, a stab light, or a loud hailer. So it does have a few simple functions. The question is what do you want it to be? Because you could essentially, you'll get, like, it has like little cogitator arms. I'll assume it has some sort of R2D2, like 1D10, like weapon.
It's like a last pistol. It's not anything that's fantastic.
Yeah. A picked recorder. Surgical implements, a light, and then if you have an idea of what you want it to be, you can have like basically an upgrade to that.
Okay. I don't at the moment, but as he's dicking around with it, he sees like the little pinchers are like opening and closing or whatever. He's like, fetch me my Amasec.
It very, gingerly goes, woo, picks it up, woo, and then, puts a little cogitator arm out to you.
He nods, he smiles. He's like, all right, I'm going to like this. So he wanders the ship with the skull, and it's carrying like his little fucking bottle, and he's got a glass in his hand, and he's just kind of wandering around like,
And people definitely give you the crew. I mean, the crew's used to a rogue trader being fanciful, but servo skulls are nearly entirely reserved for the Adeptus Mechanicus. So it is unusual for it to be, for you to have one. So people are kind of like, ooh, wow. So depending on the function, it does have a Vox, a cogitator, that's normal. And then depending on what you want, it has a glow. It could have an Auspex, combat tool, last pistol, with a red dot sight, or all options. So I'll say it's basic. It has all of that basic functionality as a good unit.
As he's walking through, the cogitators or the Vox is like, captain on deck, like every 100 feet, or like people come out. It's like captain on deck.
Did you say that it had a light?
It does. It basically has a flashlight.
I could just imagine he walks in and it just starts playing house music.
It's like a wrestler's entrance.
And then
wrestler's entrance music.
Right, and then just like flashing colored lights.
Yeah,
All of
it's
those
like weighing in at 230 pounds, Captain Venari Hallerman. And then starts playing whatever theme song you want. Yeah.
Yes, all of those things happen over the course of the month. Okay.
All right. So you have a servo skull, which is super useful because it does have stuff that you may not have, like concealment and that sort of thing. So you can use it for some pretty cool stuff. We can get out of the way. Any other acquisitions? What are other folks looking for in their spare time? So the captain's carousing. He is beefing up his relationship with the Adeptus Mechanicus, using some of those strings to get that servo skull. What is everyone else up to for your 23 to 30 days of hull repair?
So so obviously I'm overseeing the repairs to the ship and a bit maudlin, got a sad look on my face seeing all the damage to the ship. So I decide I'm going to go find the nearest rogue trader equivalent pawn shop to see if I can get a bolt pistol. Just shopping would cheer me up a little bit after seeing all the work done on the ship.
Okay. As far as bolt pistols, that's going to be... Did you look up the modifiers for that? For a good quality?
Yeah, -10 and then -10. Rare and good, so it'd be -20.
Okay.
Plus also -30 because you're only getting one of them.
But it'd be +30 then, right?
+30, yeah.
+30,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be 64 then.
Yeah.
I rolled a 47.
All right. You go to less conspicuous broker who says, I heard you were asking around for particular equipment that typically is issued to high-level military and the such. So, but being a member of Rogue Trader Crew, I thought it might be valuable to be in your good graces. So I was able to find you something.
That's marvelous, and I will remember the friendliness you showed me, and if I find anything interesting I need to kind of move out of my hands pretty quickly that may be worth anything, you'll be the first person I come to.
Of course. Anything, let's just say, imperial in nature, I am happy to take off your hands at a very good price. I try to stay out of any Xenos dealings. I don't need that hassle. But this, of course, is completely sanctioned, and it's in excellent condition. He kind of pulls out like a box, unfastens it, opens it up, and then it's wrapped even in like a very fine silk cloth that he undoes for the bolt pistol, and it has its clip. They're loaded, fully ready for you to utilize.
Thank you very much. So I'll pick up the bolt pistol and take a look at it and kind of apprise it and have like a very happy look on my face, and I will tell him, as I said, this will not go unforgotten, and hopefully this is the beginning of a fruitful relationship between us.
I look forward to additional business dealings in the future. If there's anything you need, I'm happy to outfit you in the future.
That sounds great, and I will make sure that there's enough goods flowing back the other way.
He's very appreciative.
Great.
And you have a very good a good quality bolt pistol.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'm going to walk back to the ship. I won't be waving around my new toy, but I'll make sure it stands out on the side of.
Even in a holster at a place like Footfall, you get looks of like, whoa, like, and you notice people give you a slightly wider berth than normal. They're kind of like, oh shit, like, I'm stay out of that guy's way. Bolt pistols are known in the universe as, extremely prestigious, and very recognizable. So a bolt anything gets you noticed by the common folks. So
welcome to Kane's world.
So I know Emmaus always tries to be a bit inconspicuous, but the fact that he's in a sad mood because of the ship damage, he's going to use this to kind of to G himself up a bit. So he's very happy and has a nice big smile on his face when he's walking back to the ship to oversee the repairs.
Awesome. What's Kynnoch looking to acquire?
So Kynnoch is looking for, he's not necessarily into material things, but he does realize that at this moment he is kind of stuck in the material world, so he might as well use the best of it. He doesn't like weapons or anything, but he likes to be kind of concealed slightly. So he'll have kind of seen and heard from the upper echelon of this weird fabric that can kind of be blended in. So he will be looking to appropriate a hollow suit.
And
if he happens to stumble upon one.
What book is the hollow suit?
It is in the
core book.
Whatchamacallit? No, it's not the core. I
couldn't find it into the
Corona's Expanse book.
It is in the Into the Storm.
Oh, is it? I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You would go
141.
Page 140
or 140.
I just want to see if there's any flavor that would tell me who you would be looking at. Oh, is this Archaeotech? Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is Archaeotech. I didn't realize that.
Wow. You are like... Wow. This is not... Holosuits are actually based on Eldar technology.
They are.
So, yeah.
You can say no, in which case I'll jump to the chameleon.
It's still... it's up to you. It is...
I don't mind. I don't mind sticking out like a sore thumb. I'm a
it's
navigator,
extremely
so
rare
already.
Yes, and not at all. It's very similar to Chameleon Suit, but it is Archaeotech, or it's Xenos Tech actually, and that it just depends on if you want to try for that with extremely rare versions.
I might as well try to shoot for the stars.
Okay. It's Footfall. There's a chance, right? So there's no reason that you can't try for it. And then I'm pretty sure it's the same. The availability rate is extremely rare. So you're looking for one of them. So that balances with the population. And then, so it's just a straight roll, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So it's at what, against 52?
I thought so. We're in a slight. What was that? Yeah, we're in a slight. I think our proc factor is 54 right now.
Why is John muted?
No, well, yeah, I was because you guys were doing stuff. I had it at 52. Both Bessie and Jesse thought it was 54, so I don't know which way it goes.
I guess if everyone thinks it's 54, we'll go with the majority.
Yeah,
I actually have no idea.
I had it at 54 after we gained 2 profit factor from doing that mining colony job.
Same.
Okay.
I had it at 52 and really didn't mark anything from the mining factor. So
okay.
I had not taken into account the +2 from that.
Okay.
Because I didn't write anything down. So
yeah. So I guess we can go against 54. I mean everyone passed anyway. But yeah, you're rolling against basically a straight 54.
All right. Let's see what here. And that is a 13.
Wow.
I am using real dice from now on. Screw you, online dice rollers.
You're in a very out of the way cargo hold of the station. There is a rather he's looks haggard but well dressed. And is a bit taken aback as you walk up. There was a request, so he received word of what you were looking for. But upon noticing that it's fairly obvious that you are a psyker of some degree, I believe you do cover your third eye, right? So
yeah, but yeah, you can only hide it so much.
Yeah, like he gets a little nervous.
I'm assuming too that in attempting to cover myself up, that I also expose myself.
Yeah, a little bit. It's less off-putting, but definitely still noticeable.
Right.
Let's say
I'm not scaring the shit out of people.
Yeah, and as you approach, the man is somewhat nervous. I didn't realize that someone from one of the houses would have been requesting such an item.
I'm sorry, I did not realize that would mean anything to you. I thought you dealt in crowns, and that is all.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'll sell to anyone. It's somewhat surprising to deal with one of your kind directly, but perhaps luckily for me, I was able to procure the item that you seek.
That is good to hear. While I do not wish to get my house involved, going against us is not necessarily a good thing.
I trust you have the freedom to operate with such an item.
What is in the expanse the true price of any of this? Is it not to be out here and to collect such artifacts and showpieces in the first place?
Oh, of course, as long as you have a writ of trade or someone that is your patron does. Of course, I am not able to officially acquire and or distribute such materials, but I have connections who have connections. I just wanted to make sure if you are utilizing this technology that you're well aware that the Imperium may cast a disparaging eye upon it, or worse, if you aren't protected.
I care not where you acquire such an item, and you should care not as to where I go, how I use it, and who I am. all you should care about is that I give you crowns and that I do not end our interactions with something a little bit more messy. And he'll actually see like a flutter underneath the hood.
He's like, I do not mean to insult you. I apologize, sir. I simply wanted to warn you of its of how this may look to others. Here it is. This is your item. I have acquired the best that I could find. Very rare, and I appreciate the throne that you have generously provided in exchange. If there's anything else you need, I'd be more than happy to try to acquire it. If there's something in the more esoteric equipment, such as this, and he hands over, essentially, like the hollow suit is not particularly. I mean, it's just in like a crate essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But again, quite foreign looking and clearly based on Xenos technology. Very smooth. The Eldar are very, like the smooth elven. They're like space elves. So imagine like space elf armor. That's what it is.
Nice. So he'll kind of open it slightly, then look at him and say, "It is good enough. I will not show you the true meaning of this reality and expose you to the void at this point in time. You have pleased me enough.
I thank you for your mercy and your generosity in thrones."
Keep this in mind. I will keep you in mind as I may be procuring other such items. If you happen to run across anything, give me a hail.
I will certainly keep you in mind for our more interesting acquisitions.
Very well.
He bows very deeply and heads into the shadows.
He has a disdain for any such formalities. And he'll simply just give a grunt and walk away.
All right. What's Bessie looking for? Do you have?
So actually, real quick for you, do you want to finish the Inquisition thing first, or should I just do the roll for the item that I'm looking for?
You can do the roll to start.
Okay. All right. So I am trying to get a Loi. I think that's how it's pronounced. LOI pattern burning blade.
Okay.
Basically, a power sword that they augment to make it look like it's actually on fire.
Cool. What book is that in?
Into the Storm.
Okay. What's the rarity?
It's an extremely rare, I think.
All
It's
right.
the one that's plus 30.
All right. So you're basically looking at a straight up 54 roll.
Yep. Oh, I actually want to do a good quality.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
All right. So, okay. That sucks. I got a 3.
Wait, why does that suck?
Because I'm never going to actually roll that good on something that matters more than just getting another sword.
Yeah.
No,
So
I wasted it.
you go to the local temple. And the head priest comes up and says, "Welcome, brother. I have heard you need some additional persuasion to convert the heathens and heretics in your mission."
More persuasion is never a bad thing. People can burn so many different ways.
Of course, there's no reason to leave these heretics alive if they cannot be converted, if they do not recognize the power of the God Emperor. I have acquired the item you're seeking. I simply am hoping you will use it in order to promote our missionary work.
Oh, I will absolutely use it to spread the good word of the God Emperor through fire and brimstone throughout the entire universe.
That is what I like to hear. I hope you never come across any demons of the warp or such, but this certainly will help. And I know it's often difficult to persuade traitors who have their permissions to do things outside of the Emperor's creed. But I would hope this may help you perhaps show an additional bit of persuasion to your those who you answer to. Perhaps maybe you can bend their will toward the righteous.
I believe this may just do the trick. I actually have one or two individuals who need a little persuading at the moment. And this could very well help me push them towards the path of the God Emperor and away from the vile life that they lead and the treacherous beings that they speak as friend.
He pulls out in a very ceremonial way the sword. Says, "This will be the tongue of the Emperor, so that you may lash the heathens and inspire those most righteous."
I thank you very much, sir, for this, and I cannot wait to give certain individuals a good tongue lashing, if you get my drift.
Hopefully, it will be as heated as your blade.
Oh, it shall be. And I'm going to give him a nice deep bow as I accept the sword from him.
He bows, and you notice an uncommon grin of he's very pleased with your piety.
Shocker.
Hey.
Hey, John. What's going on?
Nothing. Just chilling.
People just buying some shit you're not supposed to have. Heretic shit, whatever. It's cool.
Maybe we can talk in tongues later.
Well, it sounds dirty when you say it.
Oh, it will. It will.
Oh, and for the ship, what's your? Have you decided on a ship-wide acquisition? If you're going to purchase any?
No. Do we want to do the Auspex scanner so we can outfit our various crews with that bit of technology?
Sure, why not?
All right,
Yeah, the scanner is probably going to be the best bet.
So they're scarce, so the roll should be the same, except for we would be doing like a squad, so like up to 50. Sure. I mean, it's not like everybody would have to have one. You'd want, like a handful with a group, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's the...
Well, standard would be for company, which is 50 to 100. So, I mean, even if we took 100 NPCs, we could outfit everybody.
Yeah. Where's the size shit? Like, I was looking at acquisitions and trying, like, this book is so fucked up.
The size of the place,
With the acquisition, like the size and all of that, like the population stuff's all early on in the actual like item stuff.
I had it up on a tab. Let me see if I can find it.
Where's the acquisitions, like how many you want? There we go.
272.
God, this fucking book. God. So I really wish they would have remade this book.
So standard company would be 50 to 100. Standard is +0. And then major, so regiment 500 to 1,000 would be -10%.
Yeah, I guess it really depends now on, what do you want? Like,
I would do standard. I mean, I can't imagine that we need more than 100.
Yeah, you're not going to send everybody out with them, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I will make the roll, so it'll be against 84. 99.
You suck.
To give back equipment.
Yeah,
Does that mean I have to give over my sword now?
You
I think so.
essentially
I think
like
we all lost our shit.
Yeah. They take all your stuff as collateral.
And there goes our ship. Fuck.
You're trying to get these off-spec scanners, and so you make a deal, and these crates are delivered, and when you open it up, it's basically just beat up old shit, like essentially like VHS play. It's just like VCRs and like old arcade games, and no. But like it's literally like just broke ass shit, and you get completely ripped off. You do not get OSPEC scanners to implement in that capacity. No.
God damn it! So he goes to like
laughed at.
Yeah, instead of going to like the regular place, he goes to like he's out drinking somewhere, and he's like, oh, it'd be good. Get some fucking Auspex scanners for those guys, because that shit in the jungle was fucked up. So he goes in, and he's clearly drunk. And he's like, yeah, I need like 100. And the guy's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
so
the guy's like, I got you, bro. Like, you and me, we're like this. We got it.
And he just, he throws the thrones on the counter, and he's like, just send him to the ship. And he like staggers out. He gets up in the morning. So he doesn't even know who to kill because he doesn't remember where he was. Well, no, he's got the servo skull.
He might have had a picked recording of it.
It's recording all the time.
Okay.
But he doesn't remember right away, right? So it's like days before he remembers that the fucking thing recorded anything.
Unfortunately, the music's still playing, so you get no audio. All you guys.
So he sees. So I guess he was. So when he finally realized, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill the shit out of that guy. So he like he's like play, video from Space Thursday.
Yeah.
And so he's like sitting, like scrolling through all the fucking shit, and he's like, yeah, I kind of remember because we had that Amasek at the yeah. So he's like looking. So he finally finds a place. Like he goes to go back. Like he grabs. Who would he even take? Maybe he would take the Navigator just so he could like stand there and like fucking zap everybody with the third eye. He's like, Kynnoch, come on, we're going on a trip, just you and me.
Yes.
And he's like, he's ready to go, like he's walking because he's got the skull and he wants to kill somebody, and he just stops, turns around and turns to look at you. Are you not happy?
No, it's fine. I will come with you.
Yes, you will come with me.
Yes.
You're going to introduce someone to the the wonders of the warp. You should be ecstatic right now.
If you must.
He doesn't say anything. He just stares at you for a long minute, and the skull turns around and it's looking at you. Its little fucking eyes are blinking. It's recording. It zooms in on your face. It's just like stone fucking center, like whatever. And he's like, okay, let's go. And he turns around without even waiting. He just turns around and, heads off to where he thinks needs to go. So he makes it to the block. Like he's like wandering around for a little while, like, cause he kind of remembers, but not really. Like he's got the name. And then when they eventually make it out there, it's just like an empty fucking storefront. Like the guy's gone, like never worked there. It's just like not a real fucking store. There's like a chain on the door.
Charlie, he died 27 years ago.
So he's
spoke
just
to him
like,
last week.
fuck, just he's like, all right, Kynnoch.
Pardon, sir.
Yes.
Does this happen to have anything to do with the empty crates that showed up in our cargo hold the other day?
Maybe. He kind of pulls himself up to his full height. We were, yeah. I should have called Oros. I was. Never mind. Back to the ship. We'll attend to this later. And he like, as they're walking, he says to the servo skull, he's like, clip, picked, from frame, whatever. He's like trying to like give technical shit. He's like, I want the picture of the fucking guy that sold me the things. Like, send that to my, desktop or whatever the space equivalent desktop is. So like he's got the
Space
picture.
desktop.
Yeah, it's like sending to data slate.
Oh, data slate.
I just know from
I
now
do
on.
not
I
know
want
what
all of
desktop means. I tried to send to desktop, but that's just a glass top.
I want all of your shit from now on to be space blank. I'm going to eat some space ramen.
It'll be space corpse rations.
Oh.
So he gets back to the ship, and he would just he would forward that to Oros, and have Oros keep an eye out for that guy. And when they find that guy, they kill him. They don't bring him in. They don't say anything. They just kill him. They just walk up and fucking kill him and walk away.
He lets you know that he's on the lookout. His men will try to track him down.
Okay.
So before getting into the lift, when we're in the ship, before getting in the lift to go up to the observation deck to relax, Kynnoch will turn to the captain, say, "Perhaps next time, sir, don't," and using air quotes, cheap out. Going the easy route is not always perhaps the best way. And he'll hit the button so the doors close.
And he stands there and he looks at the closed doors. He looks at the skull. The skull kind of turns and looks at him and fucking shakes his head. He wanders off to, just do it. He goes to find Emmaus to see what's going on with their repairs. Because this has got to be like a couple of weeks in. So now he's starting to get antsy now.
Okay, so I'll be sitting up where where crews are working, and have a data slate that I'm looking over, and not really ordering the crews around, more kind of just oversight, because I don't know if I'm necessarily structurally or engineeringly, but just more as the kind of foreman for everything. So I'm just keeping an eye on everything and checking all the numbers and everything. And like you said, if we're halfway through, it was a couple weeks in, so we're it looks like we're half the damages kind of bashed back out. So I look at him and say, "Captain, we're coming along nicely. No issues so far. it makes it a bit easier that we're not doing any retrofits or upgrades. So we should be ship shape. That's terrible. We should be ready to go in, a couple more weeks.
All right. Is there anything we can do to speed this up at all? We don't want to cut any corners, I guess. But we're not making any money while we're sitting here. We're just spending money hand over fist.
Well, I think, we could spend some money to try to speed up the process, I'm assuming, sir, but I don't know if we want to crack the whip too much. The damage they're fixing was in a pretty vital spot, so if they get a bit too much pressure put on them, the work may slack a bit. So I think it's just a matter of whether we want to spend to speed it up, or you could use your persuasion skills and give a rousing speech. They may work for you a little bit better.
So he stands there for a minute, puts his hand on his hip, kind of walks forward a little bit, and he's like, don't fuck anything up and hurry up. He looks at him and is like, I don't fucking know. These are your people.
I mean, just
rousing speech.
He's irritated right now.
From a roll standpoint, I guess if we spent profit factor, you said we could speed it up. I didn't know if there was any kind of rolls we could do, because it is pretty hard set roll. We did 23 points of damage, so it takes 23 days. I didn't know if there was
not really roll wise. It
Okay.
would be an act. You'd have to ante something up if you want to try to speed up.
So, Captain, I will keep everybody working at tip-top shape and make them work, shifts day and night to get it done. But unless we outlay something, I think we're kind of stuck for the timetable they have listed. It's pretty routine procedure. So I think the numbers they gave us are pretty spot on.
All right, fair enough. Just make sure they're working. Make sure you get a break in there every once in a while. I might, with the loss of Kane, I'm gonna need somebody to take under my wing. Jarnan's not, he has the Emperor, in his heart, which, is fine, but it's not necessarily in our best interest, he says conspiratorially.
So, Mace kind of stands a bit straighter and kind of moves his hip sideways to show off his flashy new bolt pistol, and, gets his back standing up straight and said, I tend to be pretty malleable, so when it comes to the
I swing both ways.
Wink. So I'm not as set in my ways as Jarnan is. So I think you and I could work a bit better on finding the best deal for whatever mission we're on. So, but I also don't think we want to alienate Jarnan because he's a pretty big asset, and his connections do help us quite a bit. But I think Jarnan, as long as he can see a destination that fits into his beliefs, I don't think we'll have many issues.
All right, you're a man after my own heart. I like it. When you're done, you get some free time, make sure that you come down and have a drink with me.
We'll see if I can dust off any good bottles. I usually just drink the cheap stuff. Maybe I'll buy a nice bottle in celebration.
No, on me.
Thank you, Captain.
And he'll take off and just do ship things, I guess.
Okay. At this point, it does take clearly, other than, for the 3 and the 13 rolls, that clearly is a very quick turnaround. Everything else takes a few weeks to get. So throughout the time, I assume you're just taking care of standard business, doing your carousing and that sort of stuff. Your ship is repaired without any, duress in the meantime. What the question now is essentially what are you going to do? What are you looking to? Are you the opportunity, if you're still looking to reclaim the Imperial colony, that is certainly available in the contracts through the Adeptus Administratum. And there is a contact at Footfall. There's also a contact at Port Wonder, depending on where you would like to speak with a particular representative for the mission.
All right, and nothing happens with Zarkov in between the month that we're there. He doesn't give us any shit for.
Not that you know of. No. He has taken your apology. Yeah, nothing overt. You apologize. You gave him some shit. He was terrified about the warp stuff. Yeah, for the most part, he's worried. You do know there are some additional regulations in place on warp travel that he's trying to implement, although once you're outside of the station, there's nothing he can really do. But yeah, he's become somewhat leery of of warp travel, even more so than he was before.
Rule number 1: don't arrive 3 days before you left.
All right, so the station is his for the foreseeable future because he's clearly not going to leave.
Well, unless someone does something about that. Not that it would have to be you, but there could be other people that you could convince to do so. But yes, right now, he is even more embedded in the idea that he should definitely not get into the warp right now because it's too dangerous around Footfall.
Okay, that doesn't affect me really one way or the other, as he still hasn't made any overt moves. Especially considering everything that's just happened. So he's content to leave well enough alone.
Okay.
He will go and find Jarnan, wherever he may happen to be.
All right. Jarnan was at the temple. Once Jarnan got his sword, I'm actually gonna go to that. I'm gonna use that data pad that I got the last time and kind of get in touch with the guy from the Inquisition and speak to him in regards to his offer.
Okay.
Preferably before I get tracked down by the rogue trader, so I don't have to kill him.
Yeah, do that first.
Yeah, sure.
Anything that doesn't get me killed.
Yeah. So what's your the response is let us meet at your convenience.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna set up a meeting with him, and whenever he's free, and then kind of when we meet up, inform him that I spent the rest of that day praying to the God Emperor to give me wisdom on whether or not to, take him up on his offer. And the God Emperor said, yeah, you're an idiot. Take him up on his offer. I am taking you up on your offer to join the Inquisition.
Excellent. I wasn't sure you would agree with the mandates set forth by my Inquisitor. I wasn't sure you had the piety required to do what is necessary to spread the God Emperor's word.
I was fairly certain that I should join your group, and then the God Emperor felt that I needed that is filled with his radiant light, and that I could tell was his sign to join you and put that sword to good use. So here I am.
The first, I cannot give you direct orders at this time, but the first, what my Inquisitor is most interested in is observing the behaviors and heresies of various rogue traders. Although I realize the Imperium requires their unique methods to expand the God Emperor's light into the darkness, but there are some things that simply cross a line that should not ever be crossed. And it is up to acolytes such as yourself to be wary of those lines and to, if not persuade their captains otherwise, to stop them from wielding powers and or technologies that are too dangerous for those who are not trained in the God Emperor's ways.
I can fully appreciate that line of thinking. I actually am in quite a good position to make certain that certain rogue traders do not follow onto the wrong side of that line, and to make sure that they do stay within the light of the God Emperor. My current posting puts me in the perfect place, not only with my current crew, but we are traveling to certain areas that may be more scrupulous and need the light of the God Emperor to push them back onto the correct path.
Interesting.
So that, and I actually have the word of my current rogue trader that now that we have done a job for money, we will now be doing a job to burn heretics. His exact words. So that will put me in the exact position you want me to be in.
His eyes light up a little. Interesting. I've never heard of quite that devout a trader. Most of them are only interested in expanding their dynasty or their coffers, but he seems willing to, or even perhaps even excited to bring light to those who have fallen into shadow. I'm excited about this opportunity. Contact me after you have completed this endeavor, and perhaps we can talk further. In the meantime, let's just say I appreciate your efforts to try to get your Lord Captain to see the light and do the right thing, but perhaps it seems as if maybe your sway is even greater than most, so instead of just stopping them from your captain and his crew from misusing technologies and or artifacts that may be used against the God Emperor, perhaps you may even persuade him to be even more pious. Perhaps he could be an arm for the Inquisition himself, free to do as he pleases with his writ. and at the same time benefiting both of our goals.
I believe that he is pious as long as his profit is there as well. He is not as altruistic as us. However, if there's a profit, he will be more than happy to help us along with the goal that we are walking towards.
Well, then I leave it up to you to convince him of the benefit of assisting the ecclesiarchy.
That has worked so far. He, I believe, truly appreciates the benefits of having me on his crew, so likes to keep me happy, which is why the next thing we're doing is going to burn heretics.
Then I'm glad to hear it. Well, good luck to you then. I wish you great success in destroying the souls of those who go against the Empire, for it is a constant vigilance that must be maintained, and a constant defense of the God Emperor's will, lest humanity be extinguished by chaos and xenos, and even within from heresies.
Yes, I will take your words to heart, and I will return to my ship to make certain that there are no falsehoods found on this ship, and we can spread the light of the God Emperor to the far reaches of the cold, dark space.
I look forward to our next meeting. Please apprise me of the successes that you have seen as you move forward in your mission.
May the light of the God Emperor always light your path.
He bows. May the God Emperor's light guide you throughout your travels.
I will also bow and then take a step back and turn around and walk away.
Okay.
And head back, like start heading back to the ship. But I'm guessing probably run into my fearless captain.
Yeah.
At some point on the way.
Yeah, he like went all over the ship, looking around. You know, like at some point, like after the first like 10 minutes, like he checks your room, he checks the bridge, he checks the onboard temple. So then he's just like stomping up down the hallways, and the servo skull is just like projecting. Jarnan, your presence is requested. Jarnan, your presence is requested. And then when that doesn't get anything, so then he makes for like the temple in town to see if you're like out there doing something. And he's like, you know, circular pattern. He's just trying to find you. Like through the street, the servo skull is screaming, Jarnan, your presence is requested. People are walking like, the fuck? So and maybe like in that random, like as he's walking, like his back, you know, his back is to you. The servo skull is this way. And just like step up, like hand on my shoulder, like yes.
You rang.
Yeah. So it looks like we're just about ready to wrap things up here. And as you know, I'm a man of my word, and I had promised you that we would go and convert the masses as you were pushing for before we undertook our last mission. So we will be pursuing that course of action. So if we want to send a communique to the local temple here, I'm sure we could work out the details without having to travel back to Port Wanderer. It'd be much simpler just to handle it here.
I would absolutely agree with that course of action. I apologize that I've been away from the ship so long. I have been praying at the temple, and the God Emperor has actually bestowed upon me a good sign in regards to exactly that mission. It's been an auspicious day. I was actually gifted with this, and I draw out my new sword. And you have a power sword, so you kind of can tell what it looks like.
So is it like it's off though, right? Like so it's not flaming all the time unless you turn it on, like the power sword,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's exactly like a power sword. Like it just looks like a regular sword, and then you turn it on, and then it's like it hums.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're used to the hum because that's what yours does, and you kind of look at it. And so I just kind of draw it out. I'm like, yeah, I got this new sword. It kind of looks like yours.
I'm like, oh, that's power sword. That's a nice acquisition. These are pretty handy in combat. Although, your flamethrower does a mighty fine job. You've certainly put that to good use in the encounters that we've had so far.
Mine is slightly different than yours. It's got more of a, how do you want to say, more my style than yours. I'm not going to turn it on instead of like the normal hum, like the plate is engulfed in flames.
And he just stands there and looks like, okay, I can see that would work for you. That seems like a very appropriate instrument to wield, in the name of the righteousness of the God Emperor, especially considering where we're going.
Yes, I figure it's a very good sign that I received this, and you are a man of your word, and now we're going to a place where I can use this. And
when you say I'm a man of my word, he gives you like a curt little half bow, like inclines his head, like, of course.
So, let's be off. I will follow your lead. I'm going to turn the sword off and sheath it.
Should we gather the rest of the command crew? I can send the skull to fetch everyone else.
And it's kind of like at that point, Jarnan notices the skull.
It's kind of like next to my shoulder, I guess. Maybe like if it's not actively doing shit, it's kind of like, just hovering real close.
Yeah.
You made friends?
I guess our association with the Adeptus Mechanicus has brought some thrones to the cause. With ship won't fly on its own. We have to keep our people fed and the fuel in the tank. So I made a acquisition that they were happy to fulfill. Balanced against work in the future that we could undertake for the Mechanicus. We seem to have a fairly good relationship, so I want to make sure that we grease the skids.
I cannot fault you there. The Mechanicus does have its downfalls, and he kind of like taps on his chest. They do have their benefits when you stay friendly with them.
Indeed. See, we're of the same mind, Jarnan.
Question: what's in that skull?
He looks from you to the skull, looks back at you. It's like, fuck, I don't know. It has a lumen globe. Turn on your lumen globe. Boop, the fucking light pops on.
That will come in handy. Spreading the light of the God Emperor.
It'll be a light in dark places.
Oh, that is very true. All right, well, let's go, I guess, collect the rest of the crew and we can be on our way.
No, we'll send the skull. He's great for that kind of stuff. So I'm like, I still haven't named for him yet. I'm like, skull. go fetch the rest of the command crew and bring back my Amasek. And he like looks at like, he throws an elbow into Jarnan. He's like, fucking carries that ball around all day. It's fucking great.
Oh, I'm glad your newfound friend can help you so much with your eccentricities.
You get parts walking around here. You gotta, imbibe. It keeps you healthy. I mean, it's good for you.
I will take your word for it.
He just nods like, of course.
So, will your new friend be meeting us back at the ship then?
Oh, he'll get Emerson and what's that guy? Kynnoch, the creepy guy, right? The guy, the Navigator. Yeah, we'll wait. Look, there's a place where we can catch a light refreshment right over there. We'll wait for them here.
Jarnan just kind of sighs. Yes, I will go with you to one of your establishments.
Excellent. On me. And, just starts walking off towards the closest place. And, we go in. It's not like the norm thing where everybody kind of yells, but, a couple of people, I guess, at this point probably look up and like, oh, okay, you're here again. And, walks up. Yeah, probably. So he just grabs like a table off in the corner and, just puts up his hand and waves for somebody to come over. And, I guess since Neil's gone, so like the waitress comes over and he's like, she's like, oh, the usual. He says, yep. Drops a couple of, thrones in her, I guess in her pocket. Like she's got like some kind of like space skirt, gets real close and drops a couple of thrones in her skirt, pats her on the butt.
Wouldn't you be dropping them in her space pocket on her space skirt?
Well, yeah, whatever, same thing.
Give me the space usual.
Yeah. The space liquor.
That's that.
And some
Speaking of
space
things sounding dirty.
But before he sits down, right? So they go in, like she comes over, he does that. He pulls out your chair for you. And stands and waits for you to sit.
Okay, so Jarnan's just going to look at you and sit down and motion to the chair across from him for like you to sit down.
And he sits down, he kicks back, like he kicks another chair back a little bit and like puts his feet up, kind of like puts his hands behind his head. It's like, yep.
Jarnan just stares at you.
He doesn't really, he's not really paying attention at first because he's like waiting for the liquor to come. He's kind of like chilling out. And then he like, he's looking around the room and then he looks back and you're just staring. He goes, yes?
You pulled out my chair for me.
Of course.
What did you do wrong now that you're trying to butter me up?
We're waiting for our, the rest of our crew to show up. I'm just showing you a kindness. We're undertaking a mission that, won't be led by you necessarily, as I am obviously the rogue trader, but you will have a greater hand in what's to come concerning this mission. So I just, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I will accept your gracious offer to pull out my chair and make myself more comfortable.
As the girl starts to come over, he, chair comes back down. He gives you a wink, pours you a glass, pours himself a glass, tips a glass to you, space glass. and instead of chugging as maybe he would have before, more to irritate you than anything else probably, he just, he kind of swirls it, takes a sip, puts it back down.
Jarnan's gonna take the lighter out of his pocket, light his on fire, and just let it sit there and watch it burn in front of you.
And he gets kind of a pained look. He's like, that's not the cheap stuff.
He gets about 50% empty, and he just looks at you and just picks it up and just chugs it all down, puts the glass down.
Ah, that trick again. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
How long are we going to be here for?
He looks at his space watch and he's like, well, we weren't that far from the ship. They should be here shortly, and we'll go over to the temple and make all the proper arrangements.
I can agree with that. Okay.
So you're sending the skull back to get us too, right?
Yes. It has a fly speed of 6, so I don't know what that translates to, how long that would take for it to get from where we were back to the ship and then, have you guys come back.
Okay. So I'm standing outside, watching over the repairs, and then all of a sudden I see the skull come flying up to me, and I'm guessing it says, what is like your presence is requested or whatever. I'm assuming it says something like the captain wants to see you guys.
Yeah.
Come have a drink, bitch.
No, he didn't do that.
So I'll look at it, and does it have a box back to you? I mean, can you communicate through that back to you?
I would. I'm
assuming it has a micro bead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, microbeats are. So I'm going to say, Captain, would you like me to go get Kynnoch, or is it just me that should come over?
So he he sits up and he's like, oh, speaking up, there they are, and he hits the micro bead and he's like, no, let the skull do it. Make your way down, grab Kynnoch on your way, and the skull. We're at such and such a bar. Meet us there. We're gonna head over to the temple, and we are going to undertake our next mission.
Sounds good. So I'm assuming Kynnoch, are you up on the bridge or?
No, he'll be up in the observation deck.
Okay. So I'll go walk up to the observation deck, and I'm assuming Skull's trailing behind me.
It's probably already gone.
Oh, it went back. Okay, I got you. So it just went to deliver a message. So that's actually
yeah.
Okay, so that's a bit better. So I'll look at Kynnoch and kind of, I'll walk up behind. I'm assuming he knows, someone's coming up, and I'll kind of cock my head and say, "You look a bit familiar. Not sure if you would remember me at all."
I don't see as why I would.
Past adventures, past births that maybe we were both on.
I try not to associate with the people on ships. I see it as a minor inconvenience and a annoyance at best.
Is that the reason that would be?
What ships have you berthed upon?
The one that I recognize you from is probably one I wouldn't want to talk about too loudly, so I will just leave it at that.
I have ridden upon many questionable vessels. Is it perhaps the Gilded Trident that you were speaking of? They had a rather unseasonable reputation as ones who skipped the whole corpse rations thing and just jumped straight to the corpse.
I was thinking
Perhaps you were one of the flesh biters that I flew with.
I was thinking more of a ship with a darker hue. But as you are here and I am here and not there, it's probably something we can get into more detail at another time when there's more time, when our captain's not waiting for us at the bar. So I just
he'll kind of lower his head at you and kind of squint his eyes. Say, you birthed upon a black ship.
Correct. And now that we're both not on that black ship, I am intrigued to maybe know your story and would not mind or would not hesitate to share mine back if yours is proffered.
You followed me here. Who sent you? Do you work for them?
No, this is complete happenstance, I assure you, and kind of Emmaus holds up his hands in an innocent way, and he's being honestly innocent. He's not trying to put on an act. He's just saying, no, this was just all random and happenstance, but as we all know, not many things happen in this universe by accident. So I'm intrigued to see how we ended up back here together.
This entire world is an accident. It's all chaos. But you do bring up an interesting point.
I think it's just more for your benefit and my benefit and for own security to see if, as you said, someone's pulling strings that we don't know about.
Indeed.
So I would think the rest of our command structure doesn't know about this. I'm inclined to not really mention it now unless you see a reason to.
Well, I had thought that I was in jumping from ship to ship covered my tracks quite well, but as even someone such as yourself has recognized me, then perhaps I am not as hidden as I would like.
As I said, from when we were together before, it's not like you made yourself that visible. Obviously, my role kind of lends itself to being in proximity to you. So all as I know is where you were. I know nothing else of your circumstances or actions, just the fact that you were here and you were there before. So just to reassure you, I'm not looking to put you in any position. I was just curious.
Well,
like I said, for both of our well-being, it might be good to research how we both came to be together again.
you bring up a good point. Perhaps at a later date we can compare our previous histories and our previous positions upon the ships and see if any similar names or interests pop about.
That would be something I would be very interested in and is part of what I like to do. History and all the multiple paths that it takes is something I find intriguing, and I would definitely be interested in sharing some of that with you. And Emmaus kind of bows his head and puts his arm out to show Kynnoch back to the way we came and just say, we were summoned by the captain, so I think the longer we wait, the more our fellow command crew, it gives them more time to leave us out of any discussions.
Yes, our faithful captain. Let's just hope that this veil is parted long before he slams us into a stone somewhere and runs us all adrift.
We've been lucky so
well.
far. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's it.
I was just going to say, we've been lucky so far, so let's hope our luck holds.
Very well.
Okay, so then we'll head off to go get drunk.
Past you.
We'll head back and meet Jarnan and Venari.
All right. I don't know if the skull would like go with you guys or come back to report that you were on your way, and then you guys are just like bullshitting on the fucking bridge.
So that's why I was asking if it was still there. I would have waited to have that.
I would assume. I'm gonna GM fiat that it delivers the message and then goes back.
Leaves,
it was meant to deliver a message and that's it, not to escort you. So
yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah,
like they're
hoping it wasn't there.
Yeah, the skull comes back and we're it. I mean, I guess it could open the door. Space door. I don't know. Like I guess it. Could, like,
it's like a Star Trek door.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it can trigger a door to open. It's
okay.
Smart. Yeah, it can do that.
So it comes back in. It kind of like settles on the table, and he's like, "All right," he turns to Jarnan. It's like kind of puts its hand. He puts his hand on it. Then he says to Jarnan, he's like, "Oh, he should be here in a few minutes." And then like a few minutes goes by. He looks down at the skull. He knows he delivered the message. It delivered the message. So then he just starts. So then he's just on the beat. He's like, "We're waiting. We have business to attend to."
Your new friend is very useful.
They are reticent in their duties, apparently. The skull performed as it should. You heard me. I talked to Emmaus. They should have come when they were summoned.
By the way, I don't know if, just for the audience to know, if any players don't know, a servo skull is literally a human skull with a human brain. There is no AI allowed or robotics other than like brain-controlled robotics. So a servo skull is like a dude's head that got converted into a floating head servant that does whatever someone wants. But it's like a dude's head, like a real and they claim it's all from cloned people, but you don't know. So just so you know, it's an actual skull with a brain and a bunch of shit attached to it, like a dude's skull. Just so you know. You're welcome, audience. This is not the creepiest, fucking most horrific society of all time.
Yeah, I just figure if somebody's going through all of that, then the God Emperor deemed that he deserved it. So I'm totally okay with it.
I mean, the God Emperor absorbs like literally hundreds of thousands of souls a day to survive. So, he's cool with that. Like, he literally eats hundreds of thousands of Psykers' souls a day to power up enough to keep the Astronomicon going, which is what allows humanity to go through warp space and know where they're going. It's a whole thing, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole we have to do horrible shit in order to not literally get wiped out by aliens or demons or whatever else. So,
trust me, Kynnoch is fully aware of what the Emperor does.
Yes.
Although I haven't read all the books, so someone here is probably going to if we ever get super popular, they're going to be really mad at my interpretation. But you know what? I just go with it. Let's just go ahead and say I haven't read all the books, but I'm playing in a game where people have read all the books, and I'm like, oh, that's a thing? Okay. So I translate it eventually.
Mm-hmm. So it comes back, and I forgot it had the Amasek. So he's like, ooh. So he grabs the Amasek. He goes to pour one for Jarnan, but it's like the really good stuff. So he half reaches across the table, like bottle cocked, and then he's like, And he pulls his hand back. He pours himself a glass.
Wow.
Puts it next to himself.
That is stone cold.
Takes a sip.
I'm just gonna unsheath my sword and put it on the table in front of me.
Takes up a lot of real estate, Jarnan. And he pushes the other bottle towards him. The one from the bar.
Yes, it does. I'm not even gonna touch the bottle. I'm just gonna leave the sword in front of me.
He shrugs. He sips. He waits for the rest of the guys to get there, and then, like, as soon as they walk in, he stands up to walk out. They took too long.
Did you leave the bottle on the table?
No. The servo skull grabbed the bottle. I don't have to carry the bottle anymore.
The servo skull automatically knows. Take the good stuff with me.
So you have the servo skull set to auto loop then?
No, it takes my bottle. So it brought my bottle back from the ship, which is why I switched.
Yeah.
And why I didn't pour you any. So it grabs my bottle, leaves the other bottle.
So you took your bottle, poured yourself a glass, stuck it back in the hole that you carved on the top of the skull.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those globe bars where you lift it open and all the booze is inside of it.
Right.
So I stand up, the servo skull rises up, looks at you, grabs the bottle, and like fucking hovers away.
So I'll try to stop the captain before he goes. I'm assuming I can see you're a bit perturbed. So I'm going to say, Captain, apologies. I was just overseeing one last crucial bit of repair work. And when I went to gather up Kynnoch, he looked like he was lost in his own thoughts, so I did not want to disturb him. So apologies for our lateness.
I don't think it was
Kynnoch
up to
absolutely shoots you a look like, what? All right, whatever.
you. He's like, it wasn't your task to grab Kynnoch. I'm sure the skull performed admirably.
I was just trying to cover up the fact that we were late.
Yeah, no, I get it. He walks out. He's like, you guys took too much time. There's no drinking for you.
Okay. I thought it was going to be more a planning session, not just a drinking sesh. So okay, I feel a bit better that we didn't miss out on anything you and Jarnan were talking about then.
No. They probably actually didn't say very much after the initial exchange, right? Brett just sat there staring at each
10 more minutes of just sipping drinks.
Yeah,
So Jesse,
Jarnan is
that
very
doesn't mean
much
you
just
missed
sitting
the
there in
planning
silence. So.
It just means the planning session didn't happen.
So Jesse, I was just trying to cover up for the fact that we were a bit late. I didn't want to say we were shooting the shit. I was just trying to say.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's why Kynnoch was just like, well, whatever.
Okay, so I guess we should go sit down with Jarnan and say, hopefully we didn't miss anything, Jarnan.
I assume Jarnan got up with me. Maybe not. I don't know.
I would
So he's
assume
walking
anything.
by himself. He turns
That's a
around.
lot of assumptions.
Right.
Then I was like, wait, he did not get up. I have not heard he gets up. I've heard he just keeps sitting there as far as, like, he has not said shit about getting up.
Yeah, he's still sitting there. Just because he still hasn't seen the other two crew members. He was facing away from the door. So he was like, this dick, just get up, just walking away. We're waiting for the fucking crew. And he just decided to stumble out because he forgot while we were sitting here.
So then he's walking, like he just assumed that you were going to get up and that the other two would like fall in and turn, follow. So he gets 10 steps, turns around to say something, and it's just like nobody's around. God damn it. So he points at the skull and he says, go get them. No fucking around. So skull goes back, beeps the door, fucking goes back to the skull, and it says, Captain or Rogue Trader Venari requests your presence, like real loud in the fucking bar.
Well, gentlemen, it looks like we got a little bit of exercise and walk to here. I am assuming we should go back to the ship.
I'm gonna.
John,
Is there?
I'm
Is
just
there?
gonna wordlessly pick up my sword and just walk away from the table.
Is there like a sack or a bag or a piece of cloth somewhere near us, somewhere in the bar?
There's a bottle of booze. You could use that.
No, I need some type of covering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Space tablecloth.
There we go. Yeah, like a space tablecloth.
no, because it's like a fucking bar on a space station. A space station doesn't have like linens.
Yeah, there's a space bar napkin.
Do they have napkins? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, how you said like a tablecloth? Yeah,
I
there's
just want-
napkins.
I want-
Nah, space
Throw over
napkins.
I want something to
space
throw over the
napkins.
stupid fucking skull.
Oh yeah,
I just want-
there's cloth to put over the skull. There's
I'm just gonna
cloth
fucking.
to put over the skull.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna throw some space cloth over that stupid ass lad skull.
Yeah, you can do that.
I think that's a roll. Like, it's not right next to you. Like, it's 5 feet from the table announcing to the room, like, get your fucking ass outside.
Yeah.
Is it gonna move away from me if I advance towards it?
Probably. Like, if you make a motion to grab it, it would be like over here and then over here. It's not going to let you touch it.
Agility check.
Yeah. Although that'd be opposed, and I only look up the agility of a servo skull. And John's gonna run it.
Oh,
So it's got.
hey John,
Yes.
beat a 1.
I will roll.
Okay,
a
wait.
45.
What's your wait? Hold on. John, you roll, and then in the meantime, Kynnoch, what is your agility score and how
1
many?
out of 45.
Oh shit! So that's
That's
a
a 4.
4 degrees. Okay, John, you can't possibly get a servo skull under. It has a 30 agility. If you can somehow find a way with a 30 agility to get a 5 degrees of success, that doesn't exist.
I can't.
You can't do it.
It has dodge, and I rolled under 30. I rolled a 26. So it makes a good effort.
Ooh, interesting.
Well, does he get penalties because it's tiny? So there are modifiers to that.
He's
Oh no, puny. He's not even tiny. He's puny.
What's the puny?
Fuck. I gotta pull out the sheet.
What's a puny negative?
I'm looking. Oh, I don't have that. Oh, I do. Extreme range minuscule. Puny is a minus 20.
Yeah. What was your dodge?
I roll a 26 out of 30. He has dodge. It doesn't say plus 10. It just says dodge.
Yeah, 26 out of 30, and he got a 1 out of. Wait, it was a
1 out of 25.
Yeah, that he still has more degrees of success. He definitely gets it. I don't know how he did this. He's very good.
So now you have servo skull plus linen napkin.
Yeah, he throws that napkin over it, and that motherfucker is like, woo, woo, woo. He doesn't know what's happening.
Does it? So do you like grab it, or do you just throw it over it?
No, I just want to shut it up. I just want to throw turn those stupid lights off, just dull the sound a little bit.
So I don't know what. So like, how
creepy eyes staring at me.
sentient is it?
It's not. I mean, it would like maybe try to get it off, but it's basically just flying around like like it's covered, so it's trying to get it off, but it's just kind of like freaking out about it. It's not like it is not sentient at all. Like, and it natively tries to get out of a napkin, but at the same time, like
it doesn't start yelling, right? Like, I'm under attack. I'm under attack.
No. It's just like if you throw a fucking sheep over a dog. It's just like it just runs around like an idiot. It doesn't goddamn know. It's a fucking idiot.
This is the greatest thing in Warhammer 40k history right here.
It just literally is flying around like trying to get it off, like evasive maneuvers. But it can't.
It like fucking bumps into some dude who's sitting at a fucking table. He's like, cocking his head back to take a drink, and it like bam in the back of the guy's head, like spins around.
Yeah, it's just wailing around. It doesn't fucking know. It's just trying to get the goddamn fucking. It's like a dog with its box and its head in a cereal box. It just is trying to fucking hand it around. It doesn't know. It's a goddamn servitor skull. It's dumb.
So Venari's like, he assumes the skull's coming right back out, and it's like, like fully like a minute. So he just like ready, like fucking throws the doors open. He's ready to yell and sees the fucking skull like, and he's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And he like strodes up to the skull. He like pulls the fucking napkin off. He's like, "You're gonna break it." God damn it, he's carrying my fucking Amasek.
Sorry, Captain, we were just having a bit of fun. Apologies.
Kynnoch looks at you and is like, no fun. If you ever send that thing over to me one more time, I will send it to the warp.
Whoa.
He looks at you, like he checks the thing. His hand just drops to his side and rests it on the plasma pistol, and he goes, "I think that you'll do what you're told, or you'll find yourself here without anything to do or anywhere to go."
And he adjusts his cloak and goes, "Sir." Just kind of walks past you.
Oh.
He looks at the other two, and he's like, "Let's go."
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow him out.
Sure, yeah. What's Emmaus do?
You're muted, Kevin.
Because one person clearly stood up. A Navigator Rogue Trader face off is fucking hardcore.
I was assuming this was a bit of fun, and it got a bit out of hand quicker than I thought. So I'm just going to
very quickly
try to de-escalate it. Yeah, so I'm just going to get up and follow.
Yeah, he's fucking he leaves. Jarnan doesn't say anything, and he just raises an eyebrow to you. Do you say anything, or Kevin?
Emmaus.
Oh, I thought you were saying it to Jarnan.
You just follow out?
No, to you. So, yeah, no, the Navigator just walks out. Jarnan walks out. You're standing there. He just raises an eyebrow at you.
And I'm just going to say, obviously we have some patching up to do with the crew, sir. I didn't expect it to go this way.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, then let's go. We do have work to do.
Yes. Enough fripperies for the moment.
So he walks out with you in tow, then, I am assuming.
Yes.
All right. Are you two walking towards the Administrarum, or are you waiting outside?
I'm waiting outside.
Okay.
Did Jarnan go outside?
Yes.
Yeah, I went outside.
All right, then when we get outside, I'll look at Jarnan and like, where are we going?
We are going to get a mission for the God Emperor.
Fine, lead the way.
Oh, I can wait. I'm patient.
I cannot, and he will walk off.
Jesus. All right.
He's gonna get fragged.
So
I'm just gonna let him. Like, he's not even walking the right direction, and I'm just not even gonna stop him.
Probably not.
Give me. You don't. I'm guessing you don't have any common lore or Corona's Expanse knowledge.
Let me see here. I have navigators in warp. I have nobility and imperial navy and astromancy. That's it.
Oh, Imperial Navy. Give me Imperial Navy. Imperial Navy, that might, if you can roll it.
It's int based. I got int. 47 out of 52.
You know where the administrative offices are.
Yay!
Like, he starts walking. He's like, fuck it, I'm going. And he just starts going. And you're like, and everyone, it's shockingly, it's in the right direction. He knows where it is.
Oh, well, kind of shrug. All right, well, I guess I'll see him when I get there. And I'm still just going to stand there and wait for the other two.
Well, I assume like they have that conversation and Kynnoch starts to walk away as Venari comes out the door and he's getting ready to yell, not knowing if they were there or not. And he sees him walking in the right direction. So he's like, eh. And he's just, he doesn't follow. I guess it depends on how fast Kynnoch is walking. I guess theoretically he would just follow him to the Administrarum building. He's not going to run past him so he's in the lead. But like if Kynnoch is sauntering, he walks past him.
That's Kynnoch's decision. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
Are you just like strolling? Or are you like, yeah?
Yeah, I'm not in a hurry. I'm not necessarily in a huff. So.
Okay, so what happened? Okay, you see Venari start not power walking, but almost power walking past you.
I'll let him go. He needs this more than I do.
So he doesn't say anything. He just walks. The servo skull is like at my shoulder. We walk past you and it just like turns around to look at you. And it just spins all the way around 180. So by the time we walk by, it's back looking forward again.
I imagine one of the little pincers comes out and it does that like I'm looking at you gesture.
Oh my god.
It's got you dead right. Watch him.
I should have put the last pistol on it.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, I guess it's a good thing it didn't. It would have shot up the bar. Oh fuck. All right. So yeah, so he will walk over to the building and he's calm by the time he gets there because he knows he's got a schmooze. So like he's like turning things over as he's walking, and he gets calmer as they get closer. So he walks in, walks up. I'm assuming there's like a reception, space reception desk up front.
Yeah.
And he just walks up and he's like, rogue trader of Venari Hallerman, along with the crew of the Heretics Bane, here to discuss terms for the contract regarding the reclamation of planet, whatever it was.
Sure. They say, please, one moment. It's a servitor. Please, one moment. Proceed to office 10136, Lavina, Toma.
And he stands there and he looks at it like, which way?
It directs you down a hallway and then says, please take this hallway, take a right, then take a left at the first fork, then take a right at the next fork.
All right. So he pushes the servo skull forward because he's not really paying attention, and follows the servo skull to the appropriate office.
All right. You get to the office. There's a well-appointed office. The door, when you come to the door, it opens automatically. It is labeled Lavina Toma, Livina is the first name. Thoma is the last name. As you, and then the door opens, you see to you, a relatively older lady, kind of hunched over with just books and papers and star charts and everything, essentially strewn about the office. Come in. You are looking for to fulfill a contract to reclaim an Imperial planet?
Yes, indeed. We had heard through contacts that you were looking for someone, that contact had been remade. I had promised my missionary, and he motions to Jarnan, that we would investigate and potentially convert and bring said planet back into the loving and enfolding arms of the God Emperor.
Indeed, we would like to see the planet regained into the Imperium. It is quite fertile, with farmlands providing a significant amount of food, according to, and she starts flipping through pages, according to Imperial records. It seems as if it was quite productive prior to warp storms. We would like to reacquire control of the planet, and of course, obtain all export of foodstuffs for Imperial gain. That would be your mission. We would pay handsomely, and of course pay a tithe to your dynasty for all future profits made and or values of foodstuffs provided by the planet, or other goods or services provided.
Interesting. Multiple revenue streams are always something that catch my attention. Has any contact been made prior to us potentially undertaking this mission?
No, I will say, unfortunately, we were only able to uncover the coordinates of the planet through ancient documents that we have reviewed through administratum protocols. We have figured that this colony was once under Imperial control and now is available again to be reclaimed. However, we have not visited the planet directly with any Imperial ships.
So my understanding is that the warp storm has receded. Is there any information pertaining to the condition of the storm? Is it possible that this storm would reassert itself? Do we have any prior records of cyclical expansion?
According to star charts, it is safe to proceed with reacquisition of the planet. I will say there must have been some amount of miscommunication with the exact coordinates of the planet. It is actually on the Calixis sector side of the warp storm. Perhaps warp irregularities or warp clouding from the storm had concealed its presence from Imperial records, and so you will be required to head through the Coronis Expanse gateway into the Calixis sector, and then to the planet surface or the planetary system in order to reclaim it. It should be relatively straightforward. Unless significant technological advancement has occurred, they should not have nearly the technological capabilities that you have obtained with the current imperial standard.
He takes a deep sigh and he looks at Kynnoch and he's like, in your experience with the warp, is there anything that you can relate about this particular storm, about how it may or may not have masked the ability for the Administratum to find this planet? Or is there anything that we need to be aware of in regards to this particular storm?
Could I do a Forbidden Lore warp to possibly gain any information on that?
Yes, you may.
All right. Let's see what we got here. That's int. So, all right. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna fate that. That was an 88.
Yeah, not great.
Nope, not at all. God damn it. All right, well, that was a 67 out of 62.
Okay. As far as your knowledge of the warp storm separating Calixus and the Calixus sector and the Cronus Expanse, this system, according to the navigational maps provided by the Administratum, it is on a relatively close proximity to the storm, so it very well could have been lost if warp lanes were disrupted, or if there were violent kind of protrusions from the warp disruption. It's not impossible that it would have been lost. It is close to the border of the storms. However, now the storms are pulled back or lessened in the area. It is certainly more clear as a reclaimable system.
All right, so and you see that Kynnoch is kind of reserved, which is unusual for him. So he, somewhat cloistered, and he just says, "Sir, yes, there is a possibility that with the recession of the storms, that a path has opened up again to the location. However, without seeing exact details and more recent information, I cannot make a perfect guess, but that would be my thoughts."
All right. Thank you. And he nods to you. He turns back to her and says, what is the role of the ecclesiarchy in the reacquisition of this planet?
Well, the ecclesiarchy, I'm sure, will establish temples upon the planet upon reacquisition, but the Administratum holds dominion upon reclamation of imperial planets. The ecclesiarchy has no formal position in reacclimation of territories. That is Administratum and or through military reactions activities. Of course, through the God Emperor's will, we would like to reobtain control of the planet that has been lost, but the ecclesiarchy itself has no role per se in reclamation of said planetary bodies.
Okay, so he looks at Jarnan, and is this acceptable to you?
These terms are acceptable to me. at this time.
And he looks at her and says, we may use whatever means are at our disposal for the reacquisition of said.
As a trader with a valid writ, of course, whatever means you deem acceptable would be acceptable to the Imperium. We simply wish to gain access to the resources upon the planet, and of course will compensate you richly for bringing such resources back into the fold.
And what manner of compensation? He rubs his hands together. We come to the nuts and bolts of it, as it were.
Well, the tithe for such, depending upon, of course, the fertility of the planet, and of course, of assuming no changes to its ecology from what has been recorded in our historical documents, it would be a significant portion of income to a rogue trader. Meta outside, it would be, to profit factor to be able to, you would get a tithe essentially of the agricultural products produced from the planet and then distributed throughout. It's essentially a farming planet for the Imperium.
An agri-world.
An agri-world, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Like, so I wonder in character if he would consider some way to spin that. Like, we got the secret base on the other place. Like, if he would see something, within the confines of an agri-world of, something else he could kind of wheedle out of them. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like, a constant stream of income, assuming it's not a screaming hellscape of fucking warp demons, is a pretty good deal. So
theoretically, you could. I don't know. Do you have commerce? Techie? I don't know.
I think so.
Something relative, some not commerce or knowledge or of something common lore.
I do have commerce. Commerce, common lore, Imperium. I don't think I have evaluate. Oh, I do have evaluate. So any of those things?
Evaluate would potentially work once you got there.
Okay.
As a way to say perhaps it's worth more than the Imperium has judged it based on historical records, which is entirely possible. Right.
Sure.
They're using historical records from hundreds of years at best. So you may say, like, this is well worth more than that and renegotiate a contract. Alternatively, commerce, you could, depending on how accurate their information is, have the ability to, let's say it's a lower, according to the Administratum, it's a lower technology base than current agri-world production technology. So it is possible that you could improve their agricultural yields. So there is a possibility that you could invest profit factor now for increased profit factor later if you are able to do that sort of gambit.
Could I roll scholastic lore on, because you're saying, it's hundreds of years old. Would there be any kind of history? We're trying to get a feel for what the world is and what's there on offer. Could I roll some scholastic lore to get some kind of,
what are your scholastic lore, like, subspecialties?
Archaic, legend, and occult.
You could. Archaic would work, I would say.
Yeah, because we're not looking occult for weird stuff
Yeah,
off.
I would say archaic would work because
Okay.
it's old. Sure.
Okay, let me go ahead and roll that. 1 minute. And I'm rolling against the 55. Got, where's the stupid thing? 76 now. So I missed it by 2.
Okay. Or you can, if you want to fate point it, you
Mm.
can reroll.
Yeah, I only have 1. So I'm going to say,
They
Captain just.
regenerate every session, so they would
Oh,
regenerate.
they do?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll go ahead and roll that then. I will re-roll. And I got 29. So 1 or 2 degrees of success
Okay.
out of 55.
Out of 55, 29, 39, 49. Yeah, two degrees.
Okay.
You, for some reason, Emmaus is thinking while you're being debriefed, and has heard of this planetary system, at least previously in his studies. And it does seem as if there was significantly more agricultural production than the Administratum has recorded. They were recording it as a simple grain production, basically the simplest of foodstuffs. However, Emmaus is aware of several luxury goods produced by the planet, and so it's up to you. How do you want to bring that up? But you do recognize that there were multiple highly sought after sort of luxury foodstuffs that are produced in that system, at least.
Okay.
Based on ancient records.
Okay. So I'll say, Captain, just from past knowledge and learning, that I think this world offers us more than just your standard, the standard delivery that's been noted here. In the past, there was actually this system specifically did produce luxury items that would be, if it's something that can be started up again, or maybe it's been hidden and not exploited, that I think there is a bigger chance for growth and profit other than just the basic agriculture that we're discussing now.
So he looks at him and he grins a little bit. He's like, well, thank you, Emmaus. That is absolutely good information, good solid information that we should have during a negotiation such as this. And he kind of like turns to look back at her.
She's furiously searching through books and just records and data slates, and looks very frazzled by his statements. It takes her a few minutes, and then she pauses. It appears your associate is correct. Based on some additional data retrieval I was able to achieve, it does seem as if there were quite a few agricultural products used in the production of, well, not Amasec, but other such liquors that are sought after, as well as quite a few spices and additional unusual foodstuffs that are not available outside of this planetary system. Perhaps if the production is still intact, we could provide you with additional tithe to your dynasty if you were able to secure this planet for imperial trade.
Who would he turn to? I don't even know. I think it would needle Jarnan more, I think. And he was like, I like the sound of that. a Hallerman brand Amasek. That would be something I could get behind for sure. And he winks at Jarnan.
Good business sense is you should never imbibe your own product. So I believe that may be a good thing for you to go in that business.
He says, I think at this point, with no information having eyes on the planet, I believe that 2 profit factor would be minimally acceptable. I believe that also if said production facilities would still be in place, that I would also request that an investment would be made to take over some of said production facilities. Like, essentially what he wants is that, like, if this place produces liquor, he wants in.
Okay.
So he wants to get paid to do the job, and then he wants an investment of, and I guess that could just be additional profit factor with the flavor of,
Yeah. She thinks that if you are able to secure the planet and bring them back into the fold of the Imperium, I believe it would be agreeable for you to have ownership of some of the product exported from the planet. If that, of course, is agreeable to you.
Indeed it is. The planet shall be reclaimed for the glory of the Emperor.
For the glory of the Emperor.
Gentlemen, are you accepting of such an agreement?
Sounds good to me, sir. And then I kind of look at the functionary and kind of give a bit of a shitty grin across the desk.
She doesn't react, but doesn't react in a way of like, fuck you. Like, how dare you know more than me? I'm a fucking functionary. This is what I do. And this fucking space guy somehow knows about this fucking planet that I didn't know about. But based on your history, it makes a hell of a lot of sense for you to know about a lot of places. So it makes more sense than most people would recognize.
Okay. So give her a wink and then just turn back to the captain. Yep. I'm happy with this arrangement.
More power to the God Emperor is always a good thing. If we are able to get this planet back in his folds, then we can feed all of the souls that the God Emperor needs to survive. So I am also okay with this scenario.
Then he slowly turns to Kynnoch.
Kynnoch just quickly lifts his head up just enough so that you can see his eyes, and he does a quick nod before kind of lowering his head below his hood again.
It seems we have an accord. We will have the appropriate paperwork filled out, and we look forward to doing the God Emperor's will.
We will anticipate a report from you on the production from the planet, as well as additional resources available for the future.
Indeed. You shall have it as soon as it is available.
Excellent. Please proceed.
Okay. He bows to her, and I'm assuming he needs to sign all the paperwork, have all the appropriate seals and all that shit done.
Yeah. All the paper, like, it's fucking in quadruplicate, crazy bullshit, data slates everywhere. But yes, you sign off on being ownership of any potential industrial production is, of course, a bigger deal than just saying, like, go do stuff, or like go fucking torch everybody, and then we'll come in and do what we need to do. So, yes, everything is taken care of, and you are ready to set off. The question is, I feel like we didn't do a ton, so I didn't know if you wanted to head to the planet, or are we gonna call it?
Well, it's what, 12 for you guys? I think
For me,
we could, yeah, cut it for here. Oh yeah,
Okay.
I don't know, for Kevin it's like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know how you're not asleep all the time.
Once a month, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we could cut it here. I mean, as he went to like go spend hours filling out paperwork, he would just say, have the ship prepared, load up any, check the stores, load up any, supplies that we may need for a journey. Have Kynnoch check, do the calculations, see how long we should be in warp and like all that kind of stuff, so we can make the appropriate preparations to leave.
Well, usually in the past, we'd have Kane go roust all the crew out of all the bars and everything. So maybe I'll look at Jarnan and say, so I'm assuming Jarnan will have to get everybody back on board. You in the mood for making some people angry and stopping their fun?
Yes.
Let's go find where all the bars and sinks are and get everybody back on board. So Jarnan and I will go start stopping everybody's fun and rounding everyone up.
So with as many people as we have on a ship, I would assume that there has to be some sort of curfew or some kind of leave schedule.
Like I'm sure there's a check-in at this every X days or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably always guys that are fucking straggling. So you probably round up those guys.
But they get left. You know, you could just be like, fuck those guys. Or you could shoot them. Who cares at this point? Right? People were like, Dark Heresy or whatever. Someone had a light cruiser. And I was like, that's 65,000 crew members. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, yeah, fucking 10 dudes doesn't matter. Those dudes are gone. Who fucking cares? So, you guys.
We can go play good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, your frigate has 15,000 people or whatever. So, at some point, people probably get, lost or straggle on board or whatever. But, you're good.
He tries to have them collect as many as possible because it's the principle of the thing. You might shoot one guy, and then you get the rest of them to move their ass.
Yeah, I mean, you're people typically, if you're on a rogue trader ship, that's better than most lives. So if nothing else, they're basically essentially pirates, and pirates lived a pretty good life when they got paid out and got to go fuck around on leave. So they probably don't want to miss their next pot of treasure. So
I think most of them are probably used to the routine now, so they don't, there's always those couple of guys, and it's usually the new guys. So as we replace, guys get killed, or we have to replace murder servitors with dudes that were fucking late. The word gets around. You're gonna get paid. Don't fuck around. This guy did full funerary rites for some friggin' mercs that they hired on some back ass water planet. He's I would like to think has somewhat of a reputation of someone that's gonna go to bat for the guys if they need it. He spent an afternoon or whatever with Oros. The word of that kind of stuff gets around, which is why he does it. So
I mean, I feel you definitely, based on what you've done, have more of a reputation of you're not the slave master, just do what I do and I'm gonna beat the shit out of you if you don't. People generally respect your rule, your captaincy, more than just it's an effete noble or whatever. You do actually go out of your way to do that sort of thing. So people do, for the most part, want to work on the heretics bane. Like they want to be a part of the crew because it's not like all rogue trader ships. I mean, every rogue trader ship's different, but you do have a good reputation, and you do seem to be like you're not totally evil and or heretical and not super pious either. So you're kind of like an actual you're like a privateer more than a pirate. It's like I do stuff that's sanctioned, and then I don't do I don't totally fly in the face of everything. So far, maybe later you will. Who knows? But yeah, I would say overall your crew respects you more than a lot of crews per se, or the military crews are all just basically Nazis. They're just trained to think it's okay to murder all people all the time. So
yeah. All right, cool. I feel like I have the minus like 10 or minus 20 on interaction with Arbites, and it doesn't really come up. But like when we're at places, like I figure, like when we're at the bar, they walk in to see if they need to roust anybody, and they see me, and they just like, it's one of those kinds of things. Like we're walking through town to like go somewhere, and they like follow us for a little while. Or like maybe they stop members of the crew because they know it's going to come back to me. Not that they're really, not that they're going to arrest anybody necessarily, but they're like, oh, you're on that ship, huh? Well, you better watch your ass kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that stuff happens all the time when we're like either in Port Wonder or Footfall. Maybe not so much.
Not as much Footfall. Like Footfall is still a rogue trader zone. It's like Coronis Expanse is very loosey-goosey. I'm not even sure there'd be arbiters at all on Football.
That's true.
Once you head back to anywhere in Calix's sector, though, you're like, shit kind of gets the clamp down. So, yeah, Footfall is your safe zone for the most part. But then, once you get back to Port Wonder, the Arbitus is going to be significant presence, right? Like they're there all the time. So you once you head back into main Imperial territory, then it's like, I probably shouldn't just constantly fly in the face of everything. You can't. You have to kind of think about what you do. Not that you do a bunch of shit.
Skull.
Well, I mean the Mechanicus have those things, so it's whatever.
Yeah, the Servo Skull is more of an issue with the Mechanicus than anything. That's like the Mechanicus is kind of at odds to some, depending on the sect, because they have different sects. So some sects believe that the God Emperor and the Omnissiah, who the Mechanicus worship, are the same thing, being, entity, whatever. Some of them believe the Omnissiah is not the God Emperor, and that's kind of heresy.
No, I'm pretty sure it's heresy.
I mean, it is, but they're allowed, but they don't get destroyed immediately. Like, there's a weird... Yeah, because they need them, and they're kind of their own faction. So, there is some, Ecclesiarchy, Adeptus Mechanicus, headbutting of, the Omnissiah is or is not the God Emperor. So there's a whole, there's that whole thing that goes on, and then every faction seems to fight with another faction. But yeah, there is some weird shit like that. But it'd be more of a Adeptus Mechanicus if a faction was not tied in to the main kind of Adeptus Mechanicus. They would maybe be like, how the fuck does this guy have a Servo Skull just running around? He's not an explorer, he's not even a Mechanicus, he's just got this fucking skull. How the fuck did he get that? That's not...
Who did he kill?
Yeah, did he steal it? Yeah, what the fuck's happening? So there are times that could maybe impact it, but it would be more of a sub faction of the Mechanicus who is not necessarily, because there are more heretical and less heretical Mechanicus factions.
So would Talon Tracks be part of the Omnissiah and the God Emperor are the same?
Yes.
Like, is he more like middle of the road kind of guy?
Yeah, he's more. Yes, they're the same, and heretical technology. He does, as far as you've come to realize, he thinks the Mechanicus is the better judge and is better to determine the usefulness and application of, quote, heretical technology, whether it be Xenos or Archaeotech, etc., that the ecclesiarchy may or may not want to lock away. Sometimes they want to lock it away. There are radical ecclesiarchy members who want to use it, but the Mechanicus is the better judge of how to use this in the Imperium's favor, but he is very, Imperium friendly for Mechanicus. Like, he is a toe the line. The Omnissiah and the God Emperor are the same. They both are deriving their power from, the same origin, and it's just a different name for the same entity that's guiding humanity, even though he wants to make humanity better through mechanical modifications and technology. But I guess how hard is it? Are you fucking Space Marines, right? Are all cloned and technology and have fucking acid blood, and they're like aliens and predators and Battletech mechs, and they're all that all together at once. So, it's hard to argue that technology doesn't fucking work to make you awesome. But yes, he's more toe the line. He's not he is not radical at all.
Okay. It makes sense being on Port Wanderer. Hey, we're working towards the same goal, but we're using different means, kind of thing.
Yeah, and he is like, Port Wanderer is a great place to be, right? Because like, you get crazy shit, but he wants to get the crazy shit before it gets into the hands of the wrong people, basically, right? So that's more of his thing is more like, ooh, there's all this crazy shit in Cronus Expanse, and I'm going to be the one to fucking pull all this crazy technology, and we're going to fucking study it and figure out how to use this to humanity's benefit /
Yeah. Okay, cool. I think, next session, I think before we leave, then he would put a call into Talon Tracks because he was reminded that, Talon Tracks wanted to have some kind of a conversation. So I think he would use the astropath to contact him,
Okay.
let him know that they were in the middle of something. And then when they returned, that he would, attend to whatever things he had for him.
Okay.
But yeah, we do that next time.
All right. Awesome.
Cool. All right. It didn't seem like we did a lot, but it was a super fun session. I mean,
hell yeah.
All that inter-party tension is fucking fantastic.
That was fun.
I had fun. I mean, I wanted to do more plot stuff, but I was like, I wanted you guys to do I was trying to get I wanted to have you guys be your characters more than just have to be like, oh, let's get to plot point B. So.
But I thought tonight was cool because everybody had stuff. Like, everybody had their own little things that they were doing and side conversations and stuff. So it was more of a more complete game in that regard, like where everybody got to do things. So I enjoyed that because because sometimes we don't get that. So and not that's the fault of anything, the nature of the way that the game plays.
Yeah.
No, like you said before, the fact that it's called Rogue Trader and you're the Rogue Trader, I know you always worry that you're getting a bigger percentage of it, but I think some of that stuff where you take the lead just makes sense for you to do that. But I think we had a good balance today of everybody jumping in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the mission you've chosen has a lot of depth. There's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm ready for it. It's not totally improv. I mean, it is improv because if you decide to do something crazy, I'll roll with it. But I have an idea of what the situation is, and the situation has a lot of cool stuff that could happen. So it could go a lot of ways. So I'm excited to see how you guys approach it.
We're not a very inconspicuous crew anymore. We have someone wearing a hollow suit, someone with a.
I'm just waiting for it to be like.
Just wait till I turn that thing on.
Fuck it. I just fucking flame everybody. It's like, wait, that doesn't help it. That's just, you're like, nope, I murder everyone. Everyone's on fire. Okay, it's over.
Cleanse.
I think we have to, like, assuming that there is some civilization, just kind of like give Jarnan like that, you like over there, like burn that over there. That's fine. But you got to leave this over here. Yeah, we need these people so I can make some more money.
Yeah, you can't just be like, oh, you know what? Just burn people that don't matter as much. But like these guys seem like they're really doing things. Please don't burn them. Yeah,
I won't burn them all.
Then they don't be dead. You gotta have someone to worship the God Emperor.
You make some examples.
No, I think I really like what the plan for the planet is. So I think it'd be pretty fun.
I won't burn them all to death. Still function with a few burn scars.
Why are all these people melted? This is weird.
That's an alien species. Don't worry about it. That's just what they all look like.
They're all Xenos. Burn them. Burn them the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, Jarnan's gonna go nuts if he ever sees anything Xenos related.
Shit.
That's not great, because at some point there's going to be some Xenos shit that definitely shows up that is going to be...
Yeah, like 5 minutes in the next session.
Maybe there's some Xenos shit in there, but yeah, it's going to be... if that's the plan, that'll be very interesting to see what happens, because there's definitely potentially Xenos stuff happening at times. So,
well, I assume with the closeness to the warp storm and its separation from the Empire because of said warp storm, that it's fucked up and it's not anything like what they thought it was.
Yeah,
that's my working assumption.
Yeah, we'll see.
Dude, rank 3 in Missionary, I get hatred Xenos.
Yeah.
Damn it. I'm totally taking that.
Of course.
It does give you a very good bonus. It's plus 10, right? To like attacks and stuff. Yeah.
He's just a hateful person.
It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. It'll be fun.
Well, I get plus 10 to fellowship when dealing with Xenos because I'm a Xenophile, so...
Oh, God. Oh, God.
So, hey, do you seriously have a bonus to deal with everything that Jarnan hates?
Pretty much.
I feel like
awesome.
you really try to like help, like you're trying to like be like really nice to him and like, oh yeah, I'm totally on your side, but then like you're real friendly with everything he hates. A lot.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. Well, we come from different worlds, different strokes,
Hey. Whatever happens, happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, is everybody prepared to roll new characters, or?
Yeah, I have some stuff in mind. So.
Well, you're the one I'm worried about least. Although I guess if Jarnan gets a hold of you, but I think you're probably safe.
Yeah, but one good hit.
Yeah, no, he's pretty safe.
Problem.
Yeah, no, he's gunning for me. Kynnoch's gunning for me.
I'm not gunning for you. I just don't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you're just like, I don't like you. This guy's an asshole. I don't like him.
Which is not necessarily untrue. I mean, he is kind of an asshole.
Yeah, but you're a road trip. That's like saying like, oh, this billionaire is an asshole. It's like, well, all billionaires are probably kind of an asshole. Like that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like at that point, you have to kind of be an asshole, right?
I mean, I guess you don't have to be.
But the most successful ones are.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping. We get a couple of profit factor every every few sessions. So
There you go.
That's right. You haven't gambled anything big, so yet to lose any. So
mm-hmm.
you're doing all right.
And if this thing works out, we'll have some Hallerman branded whiskey, or maybe Heretics Bane whiskey. It'd be like a fireball kind of thing.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that could work. A little cinnamon.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that Jarnan too will love you appropriating his religion to sell alcohol.
You got to stay a couple of steps ahead.
I mean, if it's a fireball-based alcohol,
See?
Yeah,
it's right here.
it works out.
Every bottle comes with a lighter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is good. I like it. Of course, we're probably going to get fucked when we get to the planet, but...
Absolutely.
It'll be all right.
Venari's holding out hope.
It'll be fine.
We're screwed.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. All
There
right.
is no hope in 40K.
That's right. There is only death.
Zool?
There's only war.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's only war. But
That is technically true.
that's right. That's right. That's the slogan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm exhausted. I am super sleepy, and I'm getting yelled at to apparently stop playing games and being loud, whatever. But
Technically, we're not playing games anymore, if you want to...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that'll totally help the situation.
that's definitely the answer.
Well, I'm not playing anymore. We're just talking.
Just dicking around. That helps.
That won't make it worse at all.
Nope. So,
All right.
guys. Next time we'll get a schedule going, and then we'll have an actual mission next time. Sorry, is it Sky Jammin'? Is that the
No,
viewer?
she wasn't in today. At least I didn't see her. Based Patriot was in. He wanted me to kill the first NPC, or she, I assume he, the first the guy that I was dealing with for the servo skull.
That. You can't kill the person giving you the servo skull. You're not going to get it then.
Yeah, it doesn't usually work in your favor.
No, it doesn't help.
All right. Well, thanks for running. Thanks, guys, for playing. Thanks for everybody for checking it out. We enjoy this one even when we're not rolling tons of dice. It's always fun to just
Next time, more dice.
Yeah, get in and just sort of fuck around. And I think we're fair. I mean, I thought it was a good flavor episode. I regret nothing.
Taste the flavor. Everybody taste the flavor.
And it tastes like cinnamon.
That's right. That's right. It tastes like Fireball. And next time, there's going to be some fun stuff. Trust me. Just hang in there for this next episode, and we're going to get into some missions. And I have a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I can roll with it. Let's do this.
All right. Cool. Take it easy, everybody. Catch you next time.
Good night, everybody.
Peace.